Hey everybody, I'm Connor Walsh, and this is Walsh Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. This episode I wanted to talk about something fairly serious. As many of you may know, that there was a incident in Manchester involving a concert, Ariana Grande concert, where a suicide bomber waited outside the entrance of the stadium and set off a bomb at the very end, leaving 22 killed and leaving dozens injured. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I send my condolences to the family members, friends of those affected by it. I wish everybody the best. It must be a very hard time and a time of grieving for everybody, and I send my prayers and support to those who are currently healing from injuries from it. As it was said, that there were plenty of people injured from the incident. I also want to say I send my full support and condolences to Ariana Grande, her crew, and the people working at the stadium. Obviously, that has to leave a lasting impression and an effect that just is consuming, and I can only imagine how they're feeling right now. Everybody affected by it, I can only imagine the weight that they feel in their chests, and my heart and prayers go out to each and every one of them. As a musician myself, I really hate what happened. Music is supposed to be something that people go out to listen to and feel like they have an escape, to be able to leave the real world behind and just enjoy themselves in that moment and enjoy music and bring them to a new place, a haven. And this monster came in and took away the peace and tranquility and the haven for so many people. It's absolutely horrific what happened. And I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to find words to describe. But I don't want to focus too much on the negative about it, because yes, it was one man who came in and did that destruction, but there were many more people who came into a lot of people's aid. And you don't see that on the news too often. I did some digging, and I wanted to show all the positive things that were coming out of this. I wrote it down, some of the aspects that happened that night, because whenever something bad happens, there is a goodness in people that comes out and starts to shine when people are in their darkest moments. I was reading up on online and watching the news, and I was finding out that hotels were opening up rooms to those who were affected by it. Anybody who were there in the concert looking for shelter and looking for a safe place to be afterwards. Taxi drivers were turning off their meters and giving free rides to anybody who needed it. Just coming in and helping out in whatever way that they could. Local residents were even opening up their homes and donating food and money, or, as I said, welcoming people into their houses and just trying to make sure that people felt safe. People off the streets were coming in and helping those there at the concert out, grabbing people who were hit by shrapnel or had injuries. They were dragging people out and helping. Paula Robinson, who's a nursing assistant, for example, she was around when the explosion occurred, and she came into people's aid. Fortunately, with her nursing background, she was able to help people out in a very effective manner. Phil and Kim Dick were waiting for their kids from the concert to pick them up when the explosion occurred, and they ran right over to help out anybody. I believe I was reading that there was a 14-year-old in particular that they were comforting, and they were trying to get a hold of the 14-year-old's parents to try to let them know that their child's okay. And there was just a lot of that. Two people in particular, two homeless people I was reading, Chris Parker and Stephen Jones. They were just in the area because it was a good place to beg and get attention, and they were sleeping around there too. And the first thing they thought of when everything went off was to help everybody, carrying little girls and carrying anybody affected who were injured. There was an elderly lady who was also injured, carrying them out, getting them out of the scene so everybody could be healthy and protected. And I believe that there's a GoFundMe going on right now for the two men, Chris Parker and Stephen Jones, where people are trying to raise money for them because what they did was extraordinary, rushing into people's aid, and there are people who want to give back to them. So if you're interested, go ahead, look it up on GoFundMe. I'm going to take a look later myself. But then there are also people who lost their lives helping and protecting the ones that they loved and care about. Kelly Brewster shielded her sister and her niece from the explosion when it first went off, and sadly lost her life from it. Her sister and her niece did acquire some pretty intense injuries, but they have survived and they're doing very well actually since the attack, and they're, at least from what I was able to read. Now those are things that you don't see on the news too often. The news portrays all the negative, all the shock value that they can get so they can get viewers to come on. And I think that's awful. I wish people would really just tell the news for what it is. And that's something that you don't see too often. You don't see the positive things that come out of what happens in the world. Yes, it was one person that screwed things up and it made a huge impact. Awful impact. But there were so many more people willing to come in. And instead of running away and being fearful for themselves, they came in to help people that, for the most part, they didn't know. And made sure that they were all right. Alright, so the song that I want to do for you guys, I specifically wrote about the political disarray that we kind of have going on right now. However, I think the song also is a huge commentary for when things get really dark and bleak. We have an inner light and spirit within us that helps bring people along and brings people together and can be the guiding light to save all of us as a people and show that there's still good out there in the world. And I want to share this song with you guys. The song is called Shine. Do we know where we're going? Do we realize where we've been? Has anyone else noticed we just repeat all our sins? We live in a house divided, how the hell will we stand? How many brothers have to fall before we rise hand in hand? We live in times of darkness, we did it to ourselves, but we all hold a candle to guide us through this hell. So shine, just shine, oh shine bright tonight. Hold true to righteousness, don't be scared by their mask, but I believe in something that beholds a bigger task. Stand up for liberty and I will be there by your side. We'll help each other hold the torch when we're too weak to raise it high. We once looked towards the stars, a source of finding home. Let's turn to them again and have a chance at finding hope. So shine, just shine, oh shine bright tonight. see our days of glory and wonder about their fall. I know that it's because we all have built too many walls. They fester up inside us, yeah, they bring us to our knees. But there's still time to break the bricks and find our inner peace. Now when we have a problem, we find new ways to flee. But there's a stronger blaze that still resides in you and me. So shine, and just shine, oh shine bright tonight. Story, we must show we gave our all. At least we will do everything but fall. And when we tell our story, we must tell them where we've been. For when we pass the torch, they can learn from our sins. I believe in justice, I believe in the human race. Follow me in liberty, and we will fight for brighter days. So shine, just shine, oh shine bright tonight. Thank you very much. I'm Connor Walsh, and as always, I'm glad we got to spend some time.